I'm just so thankful to be here. I'm going to talk about the district courts, the 8th District. Judge Smith is the Hopkins County Court-At-Law judge. She'll tell you just a little bit about her background, and then we'll talk about the court system.
We do this all the time. We go to high school, and we're a team. You know, it's Martin and what's his name? Lewis. I'm Lewis, he's Martin. But actually,
are y'all old enough to remember that?
Some of you are. But the thing about it is it does play into each other, and it's easier to do it together simply because what I forget, he remembers, and, you know, vice versa.
Judge, brag on your son real quick, and then we'll get into the court
My
system.
son is absolutely graduated from high school here, went on to, and forgive me, any Aggies, University of Texas, and I went to Tech, so there's a... But he went to St. Mary's Law, just graduated, took the bar, and Dr. Miller can tell you all about the bar. And he
Wait
is
a minute, that doesn't sound good.
Well, no,
sorry, Mark.
It doesn't sound right, but that's what we call it when you take the bar, is the bar exam for...
Dr. Miller telling us all about the bar didn't sound so good, so the State Bar of Texas Law exam,
I knew I'd
there you
say
go,
something
okay,
like
thank you.
this. I knew it, but it is hard, and they don't, his son-in-law took it, and they won't hear till... They won't hear till November, but he's married to a wonderful girl, a little tall 5'9" blonde, and she's just absolutely beautiful. But I've got to tell something before you
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I was watching the History Channel the other day, and I don't know why, but Donnie Weisenbaker reminded me of this. I was watching the History Channel with my Cocker Spaniel, and it was something about the Continental Congress and how they were actually meeting. Did anybody watch that? How they were meeting in secrecy? I don't know. I flip a lot, so I had to stop when I saw this. And they closed the doors and they closed the blinds and actually sealed everything up, so nobody would really know what they were saying. They were trying to get the country, you know, focused and going. Well, Donnie was talking about that he was here for the pizza, and he was kidding, but okay.
Oh, okay, there you go.
But anyway, I was going to say somebody needs to watch Donnie because he's getting too much pizza. Where this comes from is that Benjamin Franklin was such a big mouth that they had to hire someone to follow him around all day long because he would stop and tell everybody what was going on in the Continental Congress. I'm sorry, Donnie, but I had to get that in, and you were there, old buddy. Thanks. But I thought that was interesting. No, you're not. No, you're not. But it's just, you know, we're all human. I thought Ben Franklin was just this perfect person.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, well, we're going to get into the court system here now. And I serve 4 counties, Hopkins, Delta, Franklin, and Rains counties. So I'm traveling almost every day, at least several times a week. I'm often in 3 counties at least a week. And so that's what I do, and I hear every kind of case. Now, mostly, I hear all of the felony criminal cases. So when there's a murder, that usually falls into my jurisdiction. You remember the 4 murders we had down in Rains County last year, which ended up being every one of those pled guilty and was sentenced without a very expensive trial. Those cases, we had estimated that they would cost about $200,000 each, and we didn't have to pay that, and it saved the county a whole lot of money and the family a lot of anxiety and grief. And so I hear those kind of cases all the way down to state jail felonies, which are the lowest felonies, like stealing a car or breaking into a building, something like that, and everything in between. Judge Smith, on the other hand, hears all the misdemeanor cases, especially A's and B's, and she also hears lots and lots of family law. I hear a little family law. I hear a little business law. She hears a whole lot more than I do.
Right. I would say that even though the numbers in the misdemeanor docket are bigger, I've got a county attorney who we plead a lot of them, thank heavens. But mostly my docket, I would say, I was talking to Trey the other day, I think probably about 2 a day, divorces at least 2 a day. And you know, somebody will walk up to you in Wally World or somewhere and you're thinking, oh yeah, and they're just talking to you and you're thinking, I don't have a clue, lady, I don't know who you are. And it's not that you don't care because your heart is in it the whole time you're doing it, it's just think of the numbers. Nearly 2 a day. And that's sad. That's really sad as far as I'm concerned. But, okay.
Yeah. She handles all the probate.
Some of the mental hearings when Millsap's not there. What else do I do? You do juvenile.
Yeah, I do all. Well, you and I are sharing juvenile actually.
Yeah.
Now, the juvenile cases, which are anyone 10 to 16, is a juvenile under our law. If you're below the age of 10, you really can't be prosecuted. So 10 to 16 is a juvenile. Once you turn 17, it's funny, you can't vote, you can't drink alcohol, but you can go to prison with the big boys down there. And so we do send quite a few 17-year-olds actually to prison because they don't adapt very well. If they're headed that way, a lot of times they'll just jump right in with both feet. So that's sad, but that's what I want to talk to you about probation in a moment also, about our system and how it's worked for us.
Right. I think the best way to start, though, and we are getting sidetracked because we have so much we want to say, but the district court actually is it's in our Texas Constitution, and y'all probably all know that. Most of the courts we have are in the Texas Constitution, correct? Mm-hmm. And he has this great amount of jurisdiction. All the big cases go to our district court, which is the trial court in the system. Well, in 1991, some guys around here, and you were here, I wasn't. I, believe it or not, was working for the IRS. Don't go there, boys and girls, but I had to have a job. Daddy nearly died, but in 1991, they created the County Court-At-Law. The way they created it is commissioners got on board with it, went to our legislature, and said, we have a need. And it was very specific. It was, we need someone to hear felony to extent. Mm-hmm. I can hear felony cases, bench trials, but I can't hear jury trials in felony level. That sounds odd, but we leave that to the district courts. I can hear any civil matter up to amount in controversy up to $100,000. And amount in controversy is when you put in your pleadings, I'm suing this person for $101,000 because he did da-da-da-da. Okay, so it's in the pleadings. So I can usually know right away, do I have that jurisdiction or not? Now, there was something that came across through our little sphere not long ago where someone asked, well, you hear family law, and that's far over $100,000. Well, you go back to the Texas Constitution. Divorce cases, and it specifically says it, divorce cases are separate from amount in controversy cases. So I do divorce cases, anything to do with children. I do attorney general cases, and that's where mother or father doesn't pay for child support, and the attorney general has to ask them to do that. And so I hear all of those. I hear all the tax cases. And it's hard to do some of these because, especially in this day and time, you know that but for the grace of God, go you. The money is just sometimes not there, and you have to do these hard things.
You also hear some CPS cases, child protective cases. CPS. I hear some AG and child protective occasionally. We have other judges that do some of that for us, but Judge McDowell comes out of Paris. We have the two JPs, Judge Ronnie Glossop and the Justice of the Peace, while Von King are they're the first judges most people ever see. Then we go to the County Court-At-Law, the County Court, Cletus Millsap, and then we go to Amy Smith with the County Court-At-Law, and then the two district judges that cover our county. We're the highest judges that live in these counties and work in these counties. Then from that point up, it's appellate judges. Appellate judges in Texarkana or Tyler, and then all the way to the Supreme Court of Texas or the Court of Criminal Appeals for the state of Texas. And then the next step up is the Supreme Court of the United States. So most of the appellate courts, they don't ever even think about us unless we bring a case up to them. Everything is handled down here by your local judges, which I think is the best way to do it.
A lot of people also, he has two, should I say that you have two on death row?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just...
Actually, one of them's been, right. I had two on death row, but one of them has been executed last fall. And so really I just have one on death row now.
And those actually go from our Supreme Court to, where do they go, federal system?
They go into the federal system as well as going through our full court and then into the federal system.
And then comes sort of back to him because he has to set the death date,
Mm-hmm.
which is just unreal when you really stop and think about it, because this is a gentle character right here, and it's hard to put that down on paper. And